Hi everyone, this is Koinzell here. So I finally have my Shenhe series of videos ready. These are post-release videos. So these are my Shenhe stats. So I'll talk about Shenhe stats first. But the gist of this video will be doing a comparison between the C0 versus C1 Shenhe rotation for Ayaka freeze comp. Okay, we'll show how it can be very smooth and you can buff the Ayaka's damage twice or more than twice within one rotation if you are C1. Okay, so first off, this is my stats. We have almost 4.5k attack. This is with R1 Calamity Effect active. Okay, this is with the R1 Calamity Effect active. Without it active, my attack is 4098. Without it active, my attack is 4098. This is my CR CD. So this CR is without the cryo resonance. Once you add in the cryo resonance, it's a plus 15, and that will be 53.1 CR. So 53.1 with 102 is a decent spot. ER I have 131. You'll be surprised that this 131 is actually enough. I mean, it will help if we get 140, but it's actually pretty alright, this 131, and that's because of the amount of energy particles that she can give now. Okay, you can see the effect of the Calamity, the 12% damage bonus, but this effect doesn't require you to use your elemental skill, it's always there. So weapon, I've already talked about it, is the R1 Calamity Queller. Artifacts, this is the same as what I have showed in my math guide, which is the double attack, full attack buffer build. You have 2-piece Glats, 2-piece Shiminawa. And these are my artifact stats. So we didn't get high attack percentage on this, but we managed to get high crit rate, so it is usable. We have a feather here with nice attack percentage, although we definitely could have wanted it higher. It has a potential to reach 30%, but we didn't. Next is a attack sense, not a ER sense, because like I said, I'm only at 131 ER. We are not trying to go for higher ER here because I can show you guys the rotation. It's more or less pretty smooth, especially for C1. For C0 it's still doable. Okay. And then we have a onset attack percent goblet and a attack percent circlet. Right, so these are the stats. Constellation is C1. No, not to worry, when I do the C0 video, we just wouldn't use the second charge, so it's perfectly fine. This is my talent level. My my elemental skill is at level 9, which is the skill that is giving you the damage bonus. As you can see, it's 77.6% attack, and burst is at level 6 base. So it has about 11% resistance strat instead of the maximum of 15%. But I may not invest in her that much. It remains to be seen. Alright, so these are all her stats. Now let's go and look at the rotation itself. I'll run through the rotation without any comments first, then we will go back. We'll replay the rotation and I'll point out specific items or specific highlights that I wanted to do. Alright? Alright, so this is in Abyss Floor 12-1. We have our com here, Venti, Ayaka, Kokomi, Shenhe. Same com as what I've mentioned in my math guide. So let's see in action. You'll notice at this point, all my energy is full actually. My Ayaka's burst is not shown here, is because the cooldown is not ready yet. So even for C0, we are in a good spot. Okay, I did not show the rest of the rotation because I just wanted to show on the first after the first rotation, it's very easy for you to get full energy. Even with just 131% ER on your Shenhe and 151% on my Ayaka. My Ayaka is using an ER sense without ER stats on any other gear. Alright, so let's look at it in a slower playback. So you notice that I use my Shenhe's burst before E. So like I said in the math guide, you can't afford to use her burst after E. Your rotation time just doesn't have that duration. Okay, you see here, we still have Shenhe's buff on Ayaka. Okay. And after using Ayaka's E, we use Shenhe's E immediately so that we get to buff her burst that is still active, Ayaka's burst that is still active, with Shenhe's cryostats, or rather the trigger quota. But they get consumed really fast, so I don't have a chance to show you guys. Alright, so I hope this has been helpful in terms of the rotation. In terms of the C0 rotation, it's exactly the same as what I have shared in my math guide, with the only difference being we swapped Venti in earlier to use his elemental skill, as you can see. Alright, so anyway, this is for C0. Let's look at C1 next. Okay, so same comp, but this time around we are going to use our second charge. Same thing, burst followed by Shenhe E, Venti EQ, Kokomi E, Ayaka combo. You'll notice that I use my Shenhe E twice in a row. That's because the burst is active, the trigger quota will have been consumed. You can just use it twice in a row with a little bit of wait time in between. I'll show more specific detail later. So second rotation started here. Okay, so that's the rotation for C1. It's very, very smooth, and you can definitely see the difference where you can still use her elemental skill twice, Shenhe's elemental skill twice in a row. It'll still get the full buffs because of how fast it gets consumed, provided your burst is still active, which it will if you follow my rotation. So now let's do a slowed playback. So this portion here, you'll notice that the setup is the same as C0 because of the fact that we can't use the Shenhe E twice in a row to gain stats to stack on the trigger quota. So again, same thing, Ayaka still has a buff. When we are casting her burst, use elemental skill, use Shenhe E once, use it twice, second time, because it will already have been consumed. Okay, so the rest of this is really very straightforward. During her downtime, what you do to gain the energy back. I'm just doing 2 acts of the N2C combo while we wait for Ayaka's E to cool down, and then we have Shenhe's E, and Venti's E is already ready. In fact, I didn't need to do the Venti E. I messed up a little bit on the rotation here. We could have used it right before Venti's burst. Okay. So I hope this has been helpful to you guys in terms of looking at the difference between the C0 and C1 in terms of rotation for Ayaka. It's still very smooth. You still can get 2 adds of Shenhe's E's trigger quota onto Ayaka's burst. Okay, so that helps. Right, same thing. Shenhe again uses a E, that's the second trigger quota. And you'll notice that the damage here is 18k because this is the smaller, this is my Ayaka C2 effect, the smaller Seiki Noto, the smaller burst at the left. In this case, yeah, it's the left. So it dealing 18k is a lot of damage. This is Shenhe's buff. Okay, Shenhe's buff. Because it's only 20% of the main. It dealing 18k is together with Shenhe's buff. So anyway, I hope this is helpful to you guys to see the rotation. I'm glad that the rotation works for her, whatever I have to say in the math guide for Ayaka freeze comp. Now for the next video, I'll do a Ganyu freeze comp. And I will, after the Ganyu freeze com rotation comparison, I will also do a video to compare how Shenhe is like versus my math guides, all of my math guides in totality. Okay, so if you like the content, remember to like the video and click subscribe for more. Bye.